Welcome to Duke TV Online, situated here in the heart of Ikeja, Lagos. And the focus of our discussion today is the critical election that is currently going on in the United States of America. Of course, it has been on for quite a while now, but today being the D-Day, it is very, very crucial to, to discuss the issue, because whatever happened in America invariably has some measure of impact across the world. America being a template of democracy, a model of democracy in the world today, an election of this nature, presidential for that matter, is of significance to the entire world. And so today, we have taken time to invite down here at Duke TV studio one gentleman who is eminently qualified to speak about America, because he is very conversant with the politics of that country, having stayed there for quite some time, and having visited the country off and on for not less than 20-25 times, the best that I know. Very conversant with their politics, and today it is the pleasure of Deep TV to invite here the gentleman I have just introduced. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, join us to welcome to our studio Chief Ola Apena. Chief Apena, welcome to Duke TV.
Thank you, Duke Ola Apena.
Pleasure. Well, Chief Apena, I know you to be a traditional title holder. So you are a chief. You are also an insurance broker. You are a politician. Is there more that people can know about you? Let's meet you, Chief Apena.
Well, you said it all, because, well, I'm a Lagosian. I'm from Ekwe anyway. I'm an insurance broker. I'm a politician. And, well, talking about the traditional title, I don't know anything about that. But people do call me chief.
Okay.
I'm married with grown-up kids. For now, let me stop at that.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, like you must have heard me when I was doing the brief introduction. It's about, the invitation is about America and the election going on there today. So, and I want to start off this way. America, will I be right to say that America occupies a very prominent position in the global setting today when it comes to issue of democracy? And if that is true, why is it so?
Thank you. Well, as we all know, America is the #1 superpower in the world. Talking about militarily, then economically too. America is #1, and whatever happens in America reverberates all over the world. So everybody in all countries are very keen at the outcome of this election, because it has effects in whatever happens all over the world. Be it China, be it Russia, be it Europe or Africa. Whatever happens, when America sneezes, the whole world catches cold.
Wow, what a way to put it. All right, thank you very much. So, you must have been following this election of the campaign and all that.
Seriously.
And the two, initially it was Trump versus Biden.
Right.
So, and of course, not a few people across the world are wanting that Biden, though very brilliant, but he was getting old. And all that. And suddenly, they just threw that banger. Now, okay, he will be stepping down, while Harris, well known for political smartness and vibrancy, she just suddenly came on board, and the entire scenario, turns around. Now, we would like to discuss these two candidates. For weeks back now, they have been trading a lot of, tantrums. and it has charged up the political environment in the United States. So, what is how do you rate these two candidates in the current American presidential election? I'm talking of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Well, thank you, sir. We all know Donald Trump. He has been the president of America. That is about maybe 4 years ago. I mean, 6 years ago, thereabout. So we all know
17 to
he's
21.
talking trade. Somebody who believes that American should be solely for Americans and that there should be no place for immigrants in America. But sir, if you look at the history of America, America is all about immigration. The first set of immigrants in Americas are European Americans. Those were the era when the monarch in Britain was sending miscreants, were shipping miscreants.
Troublemakers.
The troublemakers in England. They were shipping them to that island, to that American, what is
where we call America
today, which was owned by native Indians. The native Indians, they call them Native Americans. So on getting to that place, they discovered that there were a lot of gold there. And the Indians, the Native Americans, are using gold to make sculptures and this demigod. They'll put it in front of their houses. They didn't even know the value of.
They did not attach any economic
value to those gold. So these criminals were now stealing all those gold. Going back to Britain, and they became billionaires. Then the whole Europe erupted. And that was what we call the era of gold rush. And a lot of, as at that time too, Europe were going through some economic problem anyway. So there was this rush, the Britons, the Italians, the Irish, just name it.
Even Germans.
Germans, they started coming to America. And before you knew it, British, in their usual style, went and put British flag there and colonized. Haven't seen the economic prosperity of that place. They now colonized them until a time when the people like George Washington and some other leaders stood up and fought Britain to stand still and got their independence. So that is the background of that state, America. And America has always been striving on immigration. Remove immigrants from America, including Donald Trump, whose father came from a very small village in Germany. Remove them from America, America remain a carcass. So that is Donald Trump for you. Kamala Harris, too, is its daughter of immigrants. The mother is from India. The father is an African from Jamaica.
Okay.
So when you look at the two personalities, they are poles apart. Of course, Donald Trump represents the hawks in America who wants to go back to the era of slave trade, who believes that blacks doesn't have any value, that colored people do not have any value than to be slaves. That is what Donald Trump represents. And Kamala Harris represents the new order. The new order which represents the dream of the founding father of America, that America should be a land of opportunity where you can come from any part of the world and you can realize
prosper.
your American
Your
dream.
ambition and aspiration, as she
Look,
always
let me
said.
remind you that as we speak, we have a Nigerian who is an undersecretary of Treasury in America, in Biden government. It's like a junior minister. So those are the opportunities. Talk about Obama. The father is an immigrant from Kenya
Kenya, yeah.
who came to
And look at
study.
what it became.
Then, so that is what American represents. That is what America represents. So talking about the two personality, we are talking of Donald Trump representing those dark era, while Harris represents the real dream of the founding fathers of America.
America. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, before we go further along this line, let's quickly look at the policies both candidates are pushing. First, Kamala. Kamala is talking about abortion, that there should be less restriction, in terms of women being free to carry out abortion. Because she mentioned something that convinced me, without being biased. She said there are certain pregnancies that emanated from rape. There are some that emanated from incest, that is family members sleeping with each other, which become a taboo. So what will happen is that such a child could not be kept. So, and other circumstances, especially the way a particular woman feels about herself, that she should be free to determine what happens to herself. That government should lay hands off. And Donald Trump, on the other side, is exact opposite. Government must regulate, issues bordering on abortion. So that is one of the key points of Harris. She's also talking of renewable energy, vis-a-vis electrical vehicle, alternative power source, because for fuel-driven vehicles, they are prone to, polluting the environment and all that. But she's talking about, providing this alternative, and of course, she's talking of $25,000 housing support for the middle class and so on and so on. While Trump, on the other hand, Trump is talking about economic security, which I don't really, and that is part of why you are here anyway, to bail us out. He's talking about economic security, talking about border control, that government must come out tough on immigrants. Of course, he called them illegal immigrants, and that can be subjective, depending on the law operating in America. And so, and then essentially, he's talking about the conservative Americans taking back their country, whatever that means. So they are along these two different poll lines.
As voting is going on right now. Then other critical issues, like issue of abortion, is seriously on the ballot.
Yeah.
And this issue of abortion came about just sometimes last year or so, when a case called Roe v. Wade, which was decided like 50-something years back in America, that gives women full right to carry out abortion, be it threatened abortion, be it pregnancy resulting from incest, be it from rape. All these ones were overturned by Supreme Court. And of course, the whole issue was orchestrated by Republican judges who are on the benches of the Supreme Court. Now it becomes an issue for this election. The issue of control of borders, too, has always been on the burner. Then talking about issue of Donald Trump talking about economic security, I don't really understand what he meant by that, But for me, it's just talking about, okay, we want to build on our economy. We want a strong economy. We want this, we want that. We want Americans to enjoy more. That is okay. Of course, there is no government, any reasonable government, that will not toe the line of economic prosperity for its citizenship.
Of course.
Then
It's given.
it's given. Then Kamala Harris too, what he's been preaching about $25,000 for certain class of people, tax cut, this, that, they are all geared towards economic
Yes, and improving the welfare of the people.
economic prosperity and improving the welfare of the people. So, for the two of them, their approaches might be different, but they are moving towards
Almost the same
direction. Then, but where the diva is now, the party
Majorly the abortion and immigrant.
something.
That is,
Then the abortion, of course, the women felt so bad that in this century, and American being the light of the world in terms of everything, be it democracy, be it economy, be it military,
even
civilization, how can somebody be telling me
what to do
with my body? Apart from committing suicide, which is illegal.
Yeah.
So that factor is really driving this election. And I can bet you, sir, that Kamala Harris will reap bountifully.
From that.
In fact, as we speak, then about 80 million had voted
already
through mail-in ballots. And we're expecting another 80 to 100 million votes
more
today.
So going to an average of 180.
But from the statistics gathered so far, the women outnumber men that have voted.
And you know they're even in the
so you can fill in the gap. The women came up forcefully because there is a serious issue that affects.
But we still have some women that, beyond the beauty of this freedom in terms of abortion, they are racially biased.
Of course,
so they may still not be persuaded.
There is a proverb in Yoruba that says, a child that sleeps with his mother will have sympathizer.
Yes, now. Even the one that kills his mother
will have sympathizer. Yes. So, talking about those classes of women, when you look at them, you see that they are very old.
Belonging to that
belonging to the old school, and even in age. You see, no more sexual intercourse. They are not going to get pregnant.
So they
careless. But for those who are still within the range,
or even somebody going through it as we speak.
So they are in majority more than the women. So the issue of abortion is driving this election. Then the issue of immigration is also on the burner. And like I told you earlier on, America was all about immigrants. To the extent that America have this program called lottery visa.
Yeah.
Trying to
woo people.
No, I won't say woo. Bring them. You see, because it's like when you put...
still wooing.
When you put honey, when you put sugar on the table, and you expose it, ants will naturally gravitate towards this. I mean, so America is such a big economy, a land of opportunity, a land of things happening, sometimes negatively, but more positively. So it was designed to help people in the world who will want to come and benefit from them. But more importantly, to pick the best of brains around the world to come and help in developing American
to
further.
come and add value.
So the issue of immigration has always been an issue. And Democrats, represented by Harris as we speak, have always been pro-immigrants, while Republican has always been anti-immigrants. But when you look at it, if you look at American setting, let me take the construction industry in America. 90% of construction workers in America are Latinos. They are from all these Latin Americas, Mexico, because they have the strength. They have everything. They are the one that dominate. If you say you don't want them, then who drives the construction industry in America? Yes, of course, we have engineer who could be white, but engineer will only design and supervise. But the real rough work, it is the immigrants that are doing it. How many Americans are into plumbing? I'm talking of the white Americans.
Yes.
Even the blacks, who are an integral part of America, you know. But you see all these immigrants taking up this job, and they're doing it well. I'm not saying that America should open its border. You know.
No. And I don't think the Democrats are saying so.
No, the Democrat will never say so. What the only difference is that somebody is saying, okay,
a manner of approach.
You are characterizing all immigrants as criminals who have been released,
profiling them
as criminals, eating dogs and all those kind of
in
pets.
In that city.
So, I think, was it not?
It was so prominent.
Is it Ohio or something? I think it's Ohio. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. So all this characterization of the immigrants, some racists in America have not even come to terms with the fact that Barack Obama,
who ended up being
the president,
was an immigrant.
He was an immigrant. And don't forget, sir, that Kamala Harris is on the threshold of history. To be the first black woman, the first woman.
Yes, I was going there.
The first woman, not only the first woman
of color,
the first woman of color that will become the president of United States. So all those issues are there. But of course, at the end of today and by tomorrow or probably on Thursday, we will all know where the pendulum is swinging.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go quickly to the manner of the campaign now. Because for every game, there must be rules. Even though it's a democracy, freedom of speech and all that. But we have observed some development in this campaign that everybody, became so surprised that in a country like America, for example, Trump was quoted to have said that if he loses this election, I think he said it in Arizona,
yes,
that if he loses this election, there will be bloodbath. And don't forget to connect that with the fact that in 2021,
2020.
Okay, I think January 6,
2020.
He incited
riots,
violence, that he was deprived of the election was stolen and blah blah and all that. Something that has never happened in the electoral history of America. So now saying that there will be bloodbath if he loses, it gives a lot of concern to followers of issues in America across the world. And don't forget that same Trump had issued a threat to Liz Cheney, the daughter of former American
Vice
President Dick Cheney.
Right.
That it's like she first called her a war hawk, and that is like she's feeling like pumping bullets into her face at an open campaign ground, a presidential candidate. So I want you to comment about this. How is this possible or permissible in a democracy, especially in a country like the United States?
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Well, all over the world, campaign has its rules.
Exactly.
Under campaign, you can say so many things on the soapbox,
Okay.
and some kind of immunity
Okay.
avails you.
Okay.
So there is no limit to what
You can
you
say.
can say. But when it comes to name calling, it is permissible. If he had done that not on a rostrum or during a campaign, of course, there are law of libels,
There are implications.
there are implications. So, having said that, but it speaks volume of who you are.
Exactly.
When you go and you want to be the president of the world, because to
So to
me,
speak.
American president is the president of the world. Yeah, other nations are contending that. China is in contention. Russia is in contention, but they are not. It speaks volumes when somebody who wants to occupy such office speaks unguided, vomits rubbish, issue threats. But you see, that is in Donald Trump DNA. The only thing he enjoys is when he goes on the stage and brag and
Something like
call, and
braggadocio.
he's a baby. You see, he brags a lot, and he's an entertainer. He wants to amuse the crowd of MAGA that are in the rally. He wants to amuse them. He wants to touch base because most of them are racist, and the only language they understand
Is this kind of talk.
is all this kind of talk. Like during Hillary Clinton said, lock her up, lock her up.
yes,
All
yes.
those kind of
I remember.
rhetorics is just trying to appeal to his base. But of course, to me, he's demarketing himself. You see, because you are what you called yourself. If you go public and said, don't move close to me, I'm a madman, oh, then reasonable people in that crowd will start looking at you as a madman. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is only mad people
That can talk
that
in
will
that manner.
applaud you.
Exactly.
Now, when you call yourself a madman, so when you now say you want to pump bullets into face of a citizen, of course, that shows that this man is a loose person. So, I
Okay,
think that
but
is that.
permit me to speak for Trump.
Okay.
I think he said he's concerned, or apparently said he's concerned, that Kamala, being a woman, will not be able to stand tall before presidents across the world, such as the Russian president Putin.
Putin,
He also mentioned this North Korea president,
Kim
Kim
Jong.
Jong-un. Yeah. So that being a woman, she may not have that courage to represent America in a manner that befits the status of America. Now, I want to ask, going by the kind of Kamala you have seen in these past few weeks, the kind of, courage and bravery she has demonstrated, even the way she talks, do you agree with Trump?
Well, Donald Trump is still living in the dark ages, where women are relegated
To the background.
to the background, where women are said to be in the bedroom and the kitchen. Not anymore. We've had so many courageous women who had represented their country. Margaret Thatcher
Is the one.
was one of them, and I wouldn't see any
Any tougher
prime minister of Britain.
No, not till tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
than Margaret Thatcher. Indira Gandhi led
India.
India for so many years.
Oh, yeah.
And he represented them well. What India is enjoying today in terms of technological development and so many economic prosperity was incubated during the era of Indira Gandhi. We have
This Merkel,
we have
this German
the former German
chancellor.
one of the brightest in the world. And I can go on and on.
Even this
We have
Aquino of
Aquino of
Philippines.
Philippines. We have Bhutto of Pakistan.
Yeah, Bhutto.
So, and don't forget, Mr. Duke, that it took women century before they could even allow them to vote in
Not
America.
to talk of standing for election.
For election. So the likes of Trump are still in that. When you look at Kamala Harris, of course, she was brought up in a middle class environment by geniuses, both the mom and the dad, and she has taken on tougher jobs. She was elected Attorney General of California,
Oh, yes?
the 5th largest economy in the world. The state of California in America is the 5th largest economy in the whole world. You get what I'm saying? So, she has distinguished herself as a queen that can stand among the kings. And
She was even a senator?
She was a senator, and she wasn't just picked as vice president. Of course, her sterling qualities
So that.
to be, and now that Mother Nature has placed on her this very big task of running for the president. Of course, you know, it was Biden that was on. Then Providence just placed this up. But even at that, it was not because it was just the vice president that she was.
It was because she was eminently.
They could have picked somebody else. They could have picked somebody else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could have gone back and do another convention. But they have a good successor. So the successor steps
Why
in.
going to Sokoto?
And mark you, since she stepped in, the momentum she brought
Was very,
into the campaign
very remarkable.
speaks
Very remarkable.
of her quality. So,
I agree with you.
yeah.
I agree with you. Thank you very much. Okay, now, you see, we must be able to draw some benefits as a country, Nigeria. Now, look at what happened. A lot of people have opinionated that Biden, as good as he is getting old, he needs to. What lesson do we learn, you know, in Nigeria from that kind of maturity, that he not stepped down for his vice?
Well, you see, in Nigeria, we are still developing.
Okay.
And we should have developed more than this. Because what we have in this country right now is that the older ones are not yielding ground for the younger ones who could be better.
And before you go too far there, we have also experienced in recent times that the younger ones are not feeling better.
You see, when you look at the problem of the younger ones, these are problems of the old generation. And I put it this way. When we were young, we were enjoying some benefit from government, a lot of benefit. We went to public school.
Free of charge?
Well-funded, free. Those were the eras, those were the job the Awolowos did. And when Jakonde came in, it picked up from there. We were enjoying a lot of things.
Yeah.
Your parents will not even pray for you. If you just come home with a car or some things, and they say, ask you, where did you get it? In fact, they will be the one that will blow the whistle on you. So, but we started regressing, particularly by the time the military, particularly from the Babangida
Era.
That was when we started having problem, and the political class that took over from the old brigades cashing on this problem and decided to pauperize
The populace.
the populace. And when you pauperize the populace, who feel the brunt? It is those at the bottom of the ladder.
Okay, Chief, let me cut you on this Nigerian angle. We'll come back to it definitely, so that we don't lose track with the American election we are discussing. Now it's gone the way it's going. What are the prospects? In whose favor is the pendulum swinging? To the best of your knowledge and analysis and assessment, in whose favor do you honestly think this pendulum is swinging?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, and I think the pendulum is swinging on the side of Kamala Harris. You see, because when you look at American demography, we have what we call the blue states. Those are the states that are traditionally Democrats. Then we have the red states. Those are
Traditionally
Republicans. Then we have the swing states, like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, maybe, I think, yes, some other 2 states. All those swing states, as they stand today, Kamala Harris is neck to neck with Donald Trump. And even in most of the swing states, is having an edge.
Okay.
It might not be more than 2-3% edge. But you see, as some people may say, polls could be subjective sometimes.
Every human being is subjective.
But
so
in most cases, the projection always come to pass. Even during Hillary Clinton.
Trump.
The only thing is that while Hillary won majority votes,
She did.
Donald Trump won
The
the Electoral College. And those mistakes were corrected when Biden was coming in. And Kamala Harris has greatly, as we speak, I'm sure is still in Pennsylvania. She's still in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that is where she's going to
Round up
have
this
election.
today, yeah.
Right. She has rounded up yesterday night. But I wouldn't know whether she will fly down to California to vote, or maybe she can vote anywhere. So, for me, my prayer is that Kamala Harris wins. Because we have so many Nigerian American community in America.
Whose stay are being heavily threatened.
Yes, we have so many of them whose process of becoming American citizens are still undergoing processes. They may not be my family, but
we must pay for them.
But I want them to remain in America, because if you look at the remittance that comes in from America into
Back to our own economy.
it's staggering.
This.
It's staggering. So there are economic benefit for us
As a country.
as Nigerian, as African, for Hillary, who are more sympathetic towards immigrants than for an anti-immigrant to become the president. I may be subjective, but like you said, we all have our biases. So for me, Apart from biases, what is on ground is more of in Hillary Clinton's, Kamala Harris' favor. And,
than Donald Trump.
no, in favor of Kamala Harris.
In favor of her.
Than against Donald Trump.
Yes.
So I hope to be back
here
after the election.
And beat your chest.
And beat my chest.
That you said so.
That I said so. And to celebrate.
And well, as the anchor man, I don't belong anywhere. So let me just say.
Just put a straight face.
Oh my God. Okay, on a final note now, finally, I'm coming back to Nigeria now. There are also some good things that I drew from this electoral campaign thing
in America.
That I believe that back here in Nigeria, we are doing better. In a way that we should not be condemning our country all the time. Look at these statements we have accredited to Donald Trump. I could not recall that statement as horrible as such had, occurred during campaign back here in Nigeria. As bad as we think that we are, talking about, bloodbath, straight like that, in straight language. And, and then somebody having cases on his neck and still standing for election in a country like America. And I think here, that may not fly. So what I'm trying to draw at, it's not all too bad for Nigeria as we tend to think. That if we compare with other countries, we are not doing too badly, but there's always room for improvement. So I don't know if you have any...
Yes, let me quickly correct some impression. Number one, having a case in court does not make you a criminal. You are presumed innocent until it is otherwise proved. So, Donald Trump, yes, he has a lot of cases, but these cases have not been concluded. And to that can never be an impediment for him to stand for an election. Then coming back to the civility aspect of our campaign here, you see, in Africa, we are always guided by a lot of morality and culture. So our culture does not encourage such inflammatory rhetorics like you have in America. There is of different culture. It is not the same for them to call you motherfucker, this and that. It's not as if we don't indulge in vulgar languages too. But when it comes to campaigning, we are only trying to moderate ourselves in line with our culture. That even
and especially at the time that you are trying to sell yourself to the people.
You see,
that's when you'll be most careful.
Your energy should be channeled to selling the good part of you, not hauling abuses and all kind of stuff. And you see, talking about our culture believes that, okay, if we are struggling for the same thing within the same community, then we should give room to the fact that even after one of us must have cornered that thing, you or me will still be needed.
By each other.
We will still need each other to drive the progress of the community. So we shouldn't start saying things that will make us enemy. So I think it is our culture that is really moderating
our
own style of campaign here.
Yeah. Okay.
You get it? While let's give it to them in their own culture too. It is not the same.
Okay, my chief, On this note, we wish America the best of luck in this election.
And I wish Kamala Harris the best.
Well, thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.